Hey all, Mark Slane with the United States Krav Maga Association. Today talking about American Krav Maga. We at the United States Krav Maga Association teach what we call Americanized Krav Maga or American Krav Maga. And I quite often get taken to task about that. I'm told that, oh well, that's just marketing, or we're not teaching real Krav Maga. Really, the reason I make that distinction, I guess there's a few reasons, but the main reason is I don't want to insult Amy Lichtenfeld's memory by saying that I'm teaching Amy's Krav Maga, because I'm not. There are, oh my goodness, at least 7 people out there I can think of that say that they are Amy's heir and they are teaching Krav Maga the way Amy wanted it taught. And I truly believe the only one really doing that is Joran Lichtenstein down in Brazil, one of Amy's only 10 black belts, and he's teaching it with uniforms, with belts, with bowing, with calling out the motions in the Hebrew names, the way Amy wanted it. Amy was truly developing a Jewish martial arts, Hebrew martial art, the Israeli martial art. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be very much like a martial art. If you research this and don't just believe what someone told you, or don't just believe, what you want to believe, but truly research it, I believe that's the truth. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's the only one teaching Amy's Krav Maga. Now, the reason that we're saying it's Americanized is because, even the curriculum I learned, which I'm sure wasn't Amy's curriculum, well, we made a lot of changes, especially with weapons defenses. In my opinion, the weapons defenses that Amy taught and showed and practiced, they're outdated now. Now, that's not to disrespect him. He was way ahead of his time when he was teaching this and developing it. But, I've said many times, point to a police department or a military that's still using the same tactics and techniques and tactics, plans that they used even 20 years ago. Things move along, things change. As far as I'm concerned, we're teaching the simplest, easiest, come right out of you, not complicated weapons defenses there are, which is the way they have to be under the stress of a real attack, under the adrenaline dump, under the exhaustion. Things just go crazy. So, that's the one thing we've changed a bunch, and I believe for the better. We teach a lot of police officers these things. They're not taking Krav lessons for years. They're taking a 2-hour seminar. So we've, I wouldn't even say dumbed them down. We've just made them as simple yet effective as possible. And, the other reason we're teaching Americanized Krav Maga, I guess when I started Krav Maga, if you heard of anybody doing Krav Maga, it's like, oh, they must be a badass. Krav Maga was the Israeli Special Forces training. It was, you practically had to be a Navy SEAL athlete to be invited to test for a black belt. It was the real deal. It was brutal. And yes, that has its place. That's way cool. But in my opinion, those types of people, they're pretty safe anyhow. They're studs. They're athletes. They could take care of themselves. What we truly strive for in the United States Krav Maga Association with, our Americanized Krav Maga is to not even make it accessible or work for the average person. It's to make it accessible and work for the below average person. The weak, the unathletic, everything we teach has to work for them. Krav Maga is perfect for women as far as I'm concerned. They're generally smaller, don't have as much upper body mass, don't have as much strength in their upper body. So what's going to work for them when, someone that outweighs them by 80 pounds, has a lot more strength, is faster, is more athletic? What's going to work for them? So, our litmus test, whenever we do make changes in our curriculum, whenever we add something, doesn't just work for me. I'm 6 foot 215. It doesn't. If it works for me, cool. But our litmus test is I've got a couple of my black belts that are females, probably not quite 5 foot, maybe 100 pounds. It's got to work for them. If it doesn't work for them, why would I teach it? Again, teaching a system for big tough guys, for badasses, they're safe anyhow. We're really trying to, again, be the best, simplest, most effective self-defense for those who are not strong, for those who are small, for those who are weak. Again, it's not even for the average person as far as I'm concerned. It's for, people on the very lower end. If it works for them, oh my goodness, of course it's going to work for, bigger, stronger people. Often in class I'll even tell a big guy, hey, you're not doing it 100% right. What you're doing will be very effective because you're big and strong. And they ask, well, then can I do it this way? It's like, well, why do we teach it to the smaller people this way? Because it uses leverages better, it's more effective. As big and strong as you are, and yeah, it would work anyway, why not do it the best way, the way that will take advantage of your leverage, of your strength, of your size? So, even though something would work, doing it the easiest way for you is going to be even more effective, because who knows, the one person that comes up to attack you and maybe even bigger than you, maybe even stronger than you. You know, I've taught some big people. I've taught some old Chicago Bears lineman once. There aren't too many people going to come up and choke him, but I certainly needed to show him weapons defenses. Again, Americanized, you know, it's not, you know, just our take on it, or our version, or our marketing. It's truly different than Krav Maga is being taught in Israel. It's truly, you know, as far as I'm concerned, for the masses, and everything we do, simple, effective. If it's complicated, it's not self-defense. So, Mark Slane, United States Krav Maga Association.